So I originally made this video and I indicated that there were rumors of a Nintendo Direct coming tomorrow. Well, we have confirmation of that, so I'm adding that in as my son sleeps on my chest. It's going to be 9:13 for roughly 40 minutes of information at 7 a.m. Pacific time or 10 a.m. Eastern time. You guys can watch it live with me on my channels. The Pokemon Scarlet and Violet leaks keep on coming, and this time we've got some serious story spoilers. Let's take a look. Alright, so diving right into things, we have Sensho, Pokemon, and a few other outlets actually thinking that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct this week. We woke up this morning waiting to see if there was going to be an announcement, and there was nothing, so there's still a thought that tomorrow we will have a Nintendo Direct Mini. So keep an eye out for that. I'll have the information here on the channel if that does happen. The Riddler posted a few days ago saying who is/are fake, and when they refer to fake, they're talking about these paradoxical forms, these paradox forms that are from the future, from the past, that are going to transform Pokemon, give them new names, and give them incredible buffs, indicating that one or multiple of these four people are paradox forms in a way. And of course, we've got Turo and Sada, and we've got Arven, and then of course the new champion, Gita. And then we get some story spoilers from Q, who put out a string of tweets that have been translated. So again, if you're trying to avoid story spoilers, this is probably not the part of the video for you. So there's your big warning. It's pretty big, but not like the end all be all. So basically saying that Penny is very good at acting, implying that the people at the school don't realize what she is doing outside of school with the enemy team. So we believe Penny to have some sort of relationship with the enemy team. There's some talks about her having a Sylveon and things of that nature, which we'll talk about a little bit more later. But Penny is a very important character and does not really lead people on to what they're actually doing. Sada and Turo, who are professors depending on the game you're playing, they've previously been revealed as Arven's parents, as we've seen from the Riddler himself. They're apparently dead. Yes, apparently Sada and Turo are not actually alive, but rather they are paradox forms of what they once were. So I think that there's gonna be some really interesting story stuff going on here, right? Like some potential traveling through the time periods, you know, some other interesting stuff. And then there's even some thoughts that there's some like dark twists to the story that involve murder. So I don't know what to make of that in a Pokemon game, but that seems to be what the Riddler is pointing at here. And then we have Nemona is a champion ranked trainer, translated from clownfish because of the name Nemo. So they're talking about Nemona here using the translations. And we know that Gita is referred to as a champion of the region, but it kind of indicated that there was more than one champion, and that's kind of what we've heard all along. And now we're hearing that Nemona is apparently a champion ranked trainer, which seems weird to me because you like play against Nemona at the beginning when they have kind of weak Pokemon, but maybe they're just trying to like help you along your journey for some reason, and we're gonna get more information as to what Nemona is actually doing as we kind of play through the game. But apparently there's someone to look out for because they might have a little bit more secrets in store. So that makes a lot of sense, right? This is each of the three kind of key characters that were introduced to you in the beginning of the game. Penny having an extra storyline, Arven having very big importance to the whole paradox thing with the professors actually being dead, and then Nemona being a top tier champion rank. So maybe that means Nemona gets to the championship before you, and then you have to beat Nemona. I don't know. That could be an interesting kind of spin, and we've seen that many times in the franchise with your rival kind of beating the champion, and then you have to face them as the final champion, right? We're gonna go back to Scarlet and Violet, but I did want to mention this as well. Official materials have been posted online confirming a shiny Eternatus event is coming to GameStop in the US soon. Cerebi.net reports on that, so you guys can check that out. Kind of fitting that obviously Eternatus has kind of the Scarlet and Violet colors as a shiny, which I think is interesting. But yeah, if you're interested in grabbing that legendary, that'll be coming to GameStop very soon. Some more information, we know that there's going to be this parakeet Pokemon, which is a normal and flying type parrot. It apparently is going to change colors like Alchemy or Vivian, which they've done the past couple generations, or at least kind of spread them out. Alchemy with a ton of different forms based on the suites, Vivian with a ton of different forms based on the location. I personally thought Vivian was really dope. We'll have to see what the parakeet ends up being like. We then go back to Eclipse here, talking about Scarlet and Violet spoilers. This is what the supposed thought of types are for each of the different breakdowns in the game. So you've got your Titans, which is like Croft, the rock crab. We've got a Steel Titan, a Rock Titan, a Ground Titan, a Flying Titan, and a Dragon Titan. Those are what are thought to be the Titans across the region. And then shifting gears, looking at gym leaders, we've got Grass, Water, Electric, Ice, Bug, Psychic, Normal, and Ghost. That seems to be our gym leader breakdown in terms of typings for the different gyms that you're going to ultimately face. And as we saw in the last trailer, we saw the grass type gym leader utilizing a Pokemon that wasn't grass type, but using the Terrasilize mechanic to change it to his type. So I think we're going to see that with obviously Sudowoodo, and the bug one having something to do with Teddy Ursa, because that was kind of teased by the Riddler a few months back. The Elite Four we believe to be Flying, Dragon, Ground, and Steel. That is the thought, although I thought there was a thought of that there was going to potentially be Fairy, but we know that there's the Fairy Steel Hammer Pokemon, so we just knew that that was a Pokemon utilized by one of the Elite Four, so maybe it's the Steel one. And then last, we have the Team Star divisions. Now from the last kind of trailer we got, we knew that there was going to be the Fire division of Team Star. We believe there to be a Poison, Fairy, Dark, and Fighting division of Team Star as well. So that's kind of based on the Cassiopeia constellation, some of the things people have kind of broken down on the map. So those are all the types that we're expecting to see. I guess there's a chance that it's wrong or that it could change, but I thought it was worth talking about. Very, very cool stuff. I'm excited to see a bug gym. We've already seen the gym leaders leak, so nothing too crazy there. Now reporting on our other leaker, Kaka, we've got some other information here regarding the sub-legendaries, indicating that they're going to be difficult to find and the conditions of finding them are very strict. They can be obtained before the end of the game. So this might be something really exciting to kind of search the region for. But there's going to be a Pokemon based on the Dinglu Deer, which is going to be Ground and Dark Crocodiles typing. We've got the Yu Fish, which is going to be Fire and Dark, and that's going to be based on Incineroar's typing. We got the Zhanwu Snail, which is Grass and Dark. And then last but not least, we've got the Tiger, which is Ice and Dark. I'm probably most excited for the Tiger. That sounds really cool. A Grass and Dark Snail is kind of cool, although we've seen that typing with Zarude. I mean, we've seen the typing for all the things, but good typings nonetheless. And of course, our legendary quartet looking to be pretty sweet. I know everyone's loving Armarouge and Ceruledge, or Armarouge and Ceruledge, and apparently based on some of the leaks, you have to knock out 10 Sinisties or Bronzor to get the item to evolve them. Bronzor is found only in Scarlet, Sinistea is found only in Violet, so you knock out 10 Sinisties, you get the item, then you can evolve your Ceruledge, and then if of course you knock out the Bronzors, you can evolve your Armarouge, so the Psychic, and of course the Ghost typings there. The leaks are apparently indicating that the system of seasons from 5th generation, which was really cool in Unova, where the game would change seasons, is going to be coming back to Scarlet and Violet. Now, I don't necessarily think that we're changing seasons, but rather that the map, different parts of the map, represent seasons. And we know that Sawsbuck can be found across the map with different forms, as can Tauros. So I think rather than the game itself changing seasons, I think we're going to see different seasons represented across the map of the Paldea region. And last but not least, we have some information talking about Pokemon standing on 2 legs, which is a hot topic, right? Sprigatito apparently standing on 2 legs. Dolphin, we know that there's going to be this Dolphin Pokemon. There's an image depicting how it's going to kind of stand on its fins. We know that there's the Psychic Electric Frog. Palmy is going to be standing up in its 3-stage evolution line. We've got the Salt Pokemon that's been talked heavily about, and then of course the Coin Pokemon that's been talked heavily about, which is very reminiscent of the Spiritomb quest from Pokemon Legends Arceus. So if you're a fan of bipedal Pokemon, it seems like there's going to be plenty of options in Scarlet and Violet. So that's pretty much that for today. We covered all of the different story rumors, leaks, and much, much more, breaking down Team Star and everything in between. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.